Keep your nuts in bulk.
Oh shit, I'm recording. Anyway, Chris Rock's Netflix special. What do I think? Well, as a fan, as a student, and as a practitioner of the craft and the art known as stand-up comedy, let's just say it was typical for Chris Rock. For me, in my opinion, it was anticipation. You know what I mean? And so specifically, let me get to it. Because I know the first things people going to say, this nigga jealous, this nigga hating, this nigga, It ain't got nothing to do with that. Like I said, nigga, I'm a fan of comedy. I like to laugh. And Chris Rock, honestly, has never really been a comedian for melanin-rich folks. Let's just say that. Okay? He's always done humor to me that was what I used to like to call the sellout humor. You know? Like he did some of it in his special. A lot of it, in fact, was classic Chris Rock to me. Now, when Chris blew up, if everybody wants to be historically accurate, when did he blow up? When he finally decided to do a show that so-called black people would find funny, which was Bring the Pain. And he brought it. That shit was funny. That's what put Chris Rock on, because niggas started talking about, hey man, that nigga funny now. You know what I mean? Which shows actually that Chris Rock is technically proficient in the craft of comedy. He is. Now, he's not quite as masterful as Dave. Dave Chappelle is who I'm referencing to. That motherfucker Dave is masterful with all of the kung fu styles of stand-up comedy. That nigga's got callbacks. He's a master of the callback. Chris attempted a callback. It was light, but it was a callback. Now, shit, man, I give him credit for doing that. But the overall special, you know what I mean? My issue is how it just basically came across as he got psychologically fucked up when Will Smith smacked him in front of the world. That shit was a smack heard around the world. And how you gonna live with that? This nigga got daughters. He loved talking about his children. He talked about his children. He talked about his life. It came across as bitch shit to me. I don't necessarily need a man to always go to fisticuffs in front of the world, but yeah, Will was supposed to get a fade. You supposed to take the ass whooping at least, nigga. This is the country of Rocky, motherfucker. Rocky didn't win the first fight, and his style was ugly. It was called none. But he fought, motherfucker. We can respect a fighter, and then, okay, fine, nigga, you wasn't gonna do that. Okay, cool, no problem. But then, nigga, your special showed that you hate black men, nigga. That smack Oscar night, nigga, reminded you of high school, nigga. I think that's why your ass dropped out of high school, nigga. It's because you got tired of niggas fucking with you, you know? Which is cool. I mean, you're not that athletic, let's be real, but you're brilliant, nigga. You figured a way out of no way, nigga, and you're doing your comedy. But man, you've always done comedy. This little suspect to me. You never make me proud. I'll just speak for myself. You know what I mean? Now, I gotta be real. Ethnically, whenever we see anyone do something excellently, that shit makes you feel proud. Motherfucker look like you. You like, hey, nigga, Michael Jordan, look at that. You know what I mean? I mean, even if a nigga like LaMelo Ball, look at that. You know what I mean? You still feel like it's representing you. But this nigga did comedy that just made so-called black men look bad. I mean, damn, man, he called O.J. Simpson a murderer. Okay. But, you know, come on now. Put it like this. This is really what I'm saying. It would have been funnier if a Caucasian man did Chris Rock's set. Because everything he said was pretty much from the perspective of a Caucasian who doesn't like niggas. But since it was Chris Rock, it's supposed to be okay. Like, he's an oracle. Like, he really said something. That nigga was a bully. That nigga beat up on the least powerful group of people in the country. The so-called black man. He talked shit. He made niggas look bad. He reduced Lamar Odom to a crackhead. He reduced, Kanye West to what? Bipolar motherfucker or something. I don't know. See it for yourself and judge it for yourself. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, you're like, And he's always done that, you know, because you'll see people are laughing. So I've always said, hey, he makes people laugh, so he's funny. He's just not my cup of tea. And he's never been, except for those two. Bring the Pain, first and foremost, and that's pretty much the only one. And then he followed it up with Bigger and Blacker, which I never really understood the title, but okay, and he did all right there. But Bring the Pain was the one. But ever since then, he's just done shit. I'm just like, continue success. And then, you know, some of him and his brothers trying to act like this thing was a great thing. Now, let me break it down also. I'm going to get into the psychological aspects of what I think. And now, this nigga's psyche got shattered when he got smacked in front of the whole world. Because this nigga's stage set was a bunch of mirror pillars. Not one whole mirror is shattered. It's like a bunch of little hymns. So this nigga's no longer a whole motherfucker. He just shattered. This nigga promo for it. It's like a jigsaw. This nigga ain't whole no more. He's wounded. How can't you be, nigga? And then on top of that, this is what I'm saying. I guess I'm just going to get to it. He didn't represent manhood well at all. And that's my issue. I don't care what you are. Comedian, a preacher. And shout out to Sinful to P and Andre Taylor. But man, but you got to be a man before anything. Before anything. And he represented nothing that was masculine. Everything about it was bitch-like. Trick. He was a trick. You know what I mean? I mean, even when it came down to women, this nigga talk about he pays for everything. If you date him, he'll be paying to get your roof fixed and buying your shoes just when you first meet. That's a tricks mentality. I mean, man, you might as well go on and get an escort. I mean, what you doing? What you doing? Anyway, it's a lot in there. I didn't really find it funny. He's technically proficient, as he's always been. It was just, it was an disappointment. Chris Rock's selective outrage was some bitch shit to me. And he was selectively outraged on what niggas do. He didn't bring up no other fuck shit that happens in society by way of Caucasians or the racist system that's been in place since slavery. Nah, none of that. He had nothing to say. Then on top of that, he was kowtowing and curtsying and, you know, tiptoeing around jokes for the LGBT community. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, come on now. If you gonna beat up one, beat up everybody, man. You know what I mean? That's one thing about Richard, Dave Chappelle, Marquez the Greatest. You know, Cat Williams, others, Robin Williams. Who else? Richard Lewis. Is that his name? Richard Lewis? Richard Lewis. It's the old dude with the glasses. He's hilarious. Richard Lewis is another dude. He's from the 80s. But he's, Lewis Black. My bad. Sorry, Lewis. Lewis Black. Hilarious, man. Anyway, you know, man, there's countless comedians that are funny, that have a well-rounded sense of insulting all groups in America, and I tend to appreciate them more. If it's just one group in particular, it comes across as mean-spirited. And that's how Chris Rock came across to me. He came across like a nigga that got bullied in school, and then Will Smith, and he finally got over it by being a star and, you know, traveling the world doing stand-up, and people recognize him, and then Will Smith smacked the shit out of him in front of everybody, just like it probably happened to him in the high school cafeteria most times. And then it just brought back all the shit on why he hated niggas. And that's really what came across to me is he was letting Caucasians know, look, I hate niggas just as much as you do. Do you see what this nigga did to me? This why I hate niggas. And that's pretty much what his stand-up said to me. And then, of course, you know, he wanted to talk about, you know, how much money he has and who gives a fuck. He sent his daughters to the best schools, and shout out to you, I guess, for that. But once again, the old urban saying of what you eat don't make me shit. I don't care. How does that affect my life? And then he's talking about he got a daughter that's, you know, studying, learning how to cook in France, which is just a bunch of fucking nigga food with butter. Butter and fat. That's French food. We made that. We know it. Anyway. So that's my little take on it. I know everybody else got something to say. But yeah, but I wasn't impressed, man. This shit was an anti-disappointment. Did I laugh a couple of times? I think so. I'm honestly being real and objective. You know what I mean? I mean, Chris Rock has never been one for the people. No one has ever laughed or laughed at Chris Rock and felt like he was one of the people. Because he's just never been that way. And that's okay. It's just, you know, once again, it was lacking a lot of chutzpah. And then it just made me remember, like, you know what, whenever I see him do stand-up, I never feel good after he got off stage. Like, you feel like you got to redeem yourself, because this nigga done made people look at you crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I know the whole family is superficial and shallow and shit. You know what I mean? You don't give a fuck about substance. And right on, man. Hey, man, y'all continue to do your thing. But, see, this is a class for everybody. And then DL saying what he said. I'm going to do a thing on, I think that's the thing that's affecting a lot of the motherfuckers the most known right now, right? DL, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, Chris Rock. They all kind of got the same vibe, right? DL's funnier. But see, when you got like a political agenda that's not really organic to who you are, I think Chris Rock's is organic to who he is. Like I said, he always been that way with his material. But I'm just saying, in general, right? You can tell when a motherfucker's coming at a slant. It's not really an objective observation, right? It's more like, just how I feel, and I'm going to do a joke directly about that. And, hey, shout out to them, though, because that is the beauty of the art, and that's what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? But we're not supposed to be arguing and fighting and shit. You're supposed to use your talent and then create a piece for people to observe and then to discuss. So, hey, man, it's the Laughing Buddha, the 13th one.